So, the beginning of every garden should start at a kitchen table with cups of coffee and cake.
Oh, excellent.
Is how it begins. So what we are here to discover today is what we're going to do with a couple of borders of yours, correct?
Yes, please. The south border and the west border.
Very, very grand. Okay.
The west border.
Yep.
Which is the front door. I want basically both sides to be the same, and I want sort of wispy grasses to fill the space, and in between those I want white throughout the year. So I was thinking that in the spring I was going to have...
Okay, so it's two matching borders.
Yeah.
Which is fine provided that they're both facing the same way.
Okay.
Because it's often you have a problem if you're trying to do two matching borders over the side of a path where one gets more light than the other, and they will never match. But with these two, it's a distinct possibility that they should match. So how wide is each border?
Not wide enough. They're about 1.5 foot at the moment.
So you're looking for probably
a yard?
A good, yeah, I was thinking 3/4 to a metre.
Okay.
Yeah? So, because then that gives you enough room. The wider the border,
yeah,
the more space you have for succession in flowering. So if you have a
yes.
very, very narrow border, you pack some stuff in, but it's very difficult to get enough to keep it going for the time that you want it to keep going.
No, and I definitely want to make sure that there's some interest throughout.
Tough, hardy grasses, how high?
For this border, I'm thinking not as high as for the other border.
Because that border is behind us, so we don't want it to come up and block any light from the window, do we?
No. So less, 2 foot?
2 foot.
I think that's too short.
No, I think that's fine. 2 foot high grasses. Because what you're going to end up doing in that case is you're going to end up with 2 foot high grass, and then your colour, your white things and other things that are going to come above it.
I don't want them to be above it, do I? I want them
yeah.
to be in it.
No, you don't want them to be in it because you won't see them.
Can't they be wispy, the grasses?
The grasses will be wispy up to about 2 feet, and then through that will come the colour and the others.
But I don't want them sitting like little pom-poms on top of the wisp.
Some of them it will go up and down, some of them will be in amongst the wisp, but the problem is that wisp is actually quite tough wisp, particularly when it's wet.
Right.
So you have to just bear that in mind. Okay. I would suggest that the best grass in this situation would be one of the Deschampsias.
I've written that down somewhere.
Deschampsia is a native grass.
Yeah.
So you get one of the cultivars of the natives.
What's its common name?
I don't know.
I do. It's in one of those books. I just looked it up. Never mind.
It's called there is gold tau.
That's the one I wrote down.
The gold one. There's bronze schleier, which is a much nicer name because it's sort of long and German and compound. And
is it bronzy?
It's bronze veil is what it is called.
Yeah, I think I want gold tau.
Gold tau is fine. It's slightly yellower, but Deschampsia gold tau. So you end up with quite a sort of low, reasonably solid leaf base, and then froth that comes over the top of that, which is sort of what
froth is where I'm at. Yeah.
Froth is where you're at. Okay, so then into the froth.
Yeah.
Goes.
Okay. So originally I was thinking pheasant eye daffodils.
I don't like daffodils in borders because they die very badly.
I know. And they're messy.
I think that they
I
should
thought
be...
grasses might hide
in
the dead leaf. Okay.
They won't. I mean, they will do their best, but a daffodil, the leaves, you can't really cut the leaves back if you want to plant next year until June-ish, by that time.
All right. So tulips?
Tulips, I think, is good.
So in that case, if I'm going to go all white, I tell you why I want to go white, because at the end of the year... Because
you're having a sort of Vita set or West...
No. In the middle of the year, I want to have Gaura Linpanerai.
Yeah. And
then moving on and linking with Japanese anemone, Konig the Charlotte or Honorine Jobin, I don't know which.
Both?
Yeah. And maybe nothing else.
Because so you're going for minimalist simplicity.
Yeah. I sort of want to echo what's out and about in the fields, and there's a lot of grass, and then you get...
The old sheep, which is the white thing.
Actually what you get are loads and loads of thistles, and I know they're not white, they're purple, but when they turn...
They're white when they go to seed.
Okay,
so we're looking at something very, very, very simple.
Yes.
Do you want any evergreen in this?
I don't think I do, unless you tell me that I'm stupid not to.
I don't think it's stupid not to, because you've got an evergreen hedge that goes around it, and I think it's absolutely fine not to do it. And
then I want to have my grasses going through the winter, so that I leave it. And
they will not go through the whole winter.
Will they not?
No, because It's nice to have them. What dying grasses are good for is to a certain extent for sort of birds' feed, but more importantly for insect shelter.
Yeah.
But they do sort of tend to go a bit fluff.
Okay.
And a bit after a bit, and you get bored of them. So because we do not live in Northern Europe, and therefore our frosts are not nearly as hard.
Exactly.
Where they have nice hard Dutch and German frost, the things will stay and will hold and stuff, but we don't do that, so we get slightly damp frost.
So what can I do so that come February I'm not depressed?
Well, what I would suggest is you plant some very early bulbs.
Okay. Yes.
But so if you're still adamant on your white thing, then you could plant a great froth of white crocus underneath it.
Yes. What I have naturalised already in the lawn are primroses.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's later.
Yes.
If you had white crocus, then that would actually do it. Or alternatively, you could go anarchic and have something that wasn't white.
Yeah.
Just as that, you have little blue iris reticulatus or purple crocus in there or something like that.
And I had, you see, what I had been thinking was that I wanted to put some in the lawn as well.
Yeah, we'll just let them spill over. So if you have crocus in both, then that will give you a start. So that's first thing in the year, and then the grasses start putting on a little bit of growth, and then the tulips come in, and then the tulips will take us through probably, if we go for a white trumpeter or something like that, which is a lily flowered tulip, which is very pretty. That will take us through till June, early June if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And then you've got a gap.
Exactly.
So what do you want in the gap?
This isn't the solution to the gap, but one of the things I had been wondering, because I wasn't sure there'd be enough grass, was to have a euphorbia.
It's not very white.
No, it was meant to offset the white without the grasses, but you're saying there will be enough grass. Okay.
There will be enough grass. I don't think you need that.
Early white.
If you're going to do a theme and you're determined to do a theme...
Veronicastrum.
Veronicastrum is not early.
No. Okay.
Veronicastrum is late, but Veronicastrum is a very good plant for sort of July. In fact, I would plant that, definitely. I would plant Veronicastrum Virginicum alba, which is not too tall and gives you this sort of white arrangement.
I think I had that in London.
You very possibly could have done. So we're looking for something which is, we're talking June, we're talking the height of the English gardening
Yes.
season.
So, white, what?
Companions?
They're going to get eaten by the slugs, aren't they?
Oh, for goodness sakes, I'm so depressing. White, that time of year. Epilobiums, that's white. Roses too big. Irises.
Yes, I'm very keen on irises.
How about Iris sibirica? Siberian iris.
Yeah, but when will they come up?
They will come up in June.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should do Iris sibirica, and the one I think we should do is called butter and sugar, so it's slightly yellow and white.
That sounds good.
Or dreaming yellow, which is a very pale washed yellow.
Okay.
But that would do it because the leaf would go well with the grass.
Yeah.
The flower would fit in with your thing.
Yeah.
And it would bridge your gap before your gara starts coming out.